This is Genesis 37, 38, Psalm 9. 37 is titled Joseph's Dreams. So Joseph is 17 years old, and he was pasturing a flock with his brothers, Bilhah and Zebah. And he gave a bad, those are his father's wives. Well, Joseph brought a bad report of them to their father. So Joseph's one of the younger brothers. He's the 11th of 12 youngest brothers. And Israel, who is, Jacob was renamed Israel. So it says Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he was his son of old age. And he made his son a robe of many colors. When his brothers saw this, that their father loved him more, they despised Joseph. And to further inflame matters, Joseph had a dream. I believe he might have had one or two dreams, but basically his dreams was that everyone else would serve him. So I can imagine for him, he's probably already a little hesitant, and then he's like got this dream, and he's like, wow, this is really going to fan the flames. But he thought he was obligated and called to reveal the dream, and this absolutely inflamed the brothers. It inflamed his father, Jacob or Israel as well. That is, Joseph said his mother and father would bow down to him. So that inflamed them, but his father kept an open mind to it. So, and his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the saying in mind. So Joseph is sold by his brothers. So his father sends him to check on his brothers, and he goes and checks on his brothers, and his brothers have plotted against him. They throw him into a pit, which I believe is essentially a cistern, which is where all the wastewater would go. So it's not exactly a sewer, but it's non-potable water. So basically all the water that could be used for either household runnings, crops, it could have been wastewater, but all that excessive storm water, all that would run into sort of probably just some huge, muddy, basically waste pit. So they threw him into that. They were actually going to kill him. They were plotting to kill him, but Reuben said, let's not kill him. Let's just throw him into the pit. And Reuben was one of the brothers, sort of said that probably thought, well, this is a good alternative to killing him because I can come back and rescue him. So I think Reuben takes off. Maybe the brothers stay around. Maybe they're all leaving. One way or the other, they come across the Egyptians, I believe, and they end up selling Joseph to the Egyptians for 20 shekels of silver. I believe it was shekels, which comes out to, I believe, about $16,000 in today's month. The best way to correlate it is based off wages, and that probably would have been about 3 months' wages for today's like base salary, about 3 months wages. So that happens, and then they take Joseph's robe, the nice robe that his father gave him, and they tear it up, and they probably get some animal blood on it, and they bring it back to Jacob. I'm not sure if it's Jacob or Israel for the name. I thought the name was changed perhaps after he fought with God. However, here it says Jacob. So they bring the torments back, and Jacob is absolutely distraught. They try to comfort him. He couldn't be comforted. 38, Judah and Tamar. So this sort of, Judah is another son, I believe, of Joseph. And it's a crazy story where Judah has children. He's trying to get his children to have children. There's problems conceiving. Some of the sons are dying. There's this daughter-in-law, Tamar, who is having trouble conceiving, and the sons are dying. So I guess in their day, after a son died, the next brother would take the wife. And it gets just a crazy turn of events where Tamar is trying to have kids. Some of the brothers don't want to be involved with this lineage thing going on. So Tamar disguises herself as a prostitute and goes out and tries to conceive that way. And lo and behold, Judah takes her and pays her, conceives with her, and she says, "Give me your robe, staff, and something else, I forget." So she obviously knew who he was. He didn't know who she was because she was disguised. So they do that, and then they go their separate ways, and she conceives of twins. And then she comes out and says that he did this. So she tells the village, "I did this." He can probably easily deny it, except she has the robe and staff to show it. So once that evidence is at hand, he sort of turns the other cheek and says, I'm as guilty a sinner as anybody else." In Psalm 9, another song of David, highlighting his injustice. It's highlighting God's justice and faithfulness. David exalts the Lord for his mighty deeds, and it concludes with a plea for God to continue executing justice, reminding humanity of its morality and dependence on him.